Welcome, everybody. I'm saying welcome, everybody, but nobody's here. Is it too early? Are you fed up? Have you had enough with Mark? Oh, well, this, of course, is going to be also pre-recorded. Hi, it's going to be recorded. Hi, Andy. Hi, Peter. Hi, Sue. Some people have found me now due to the fact that I'm shadow banned 188,000 people, and we've got literally 4 people, 5 people on. So it just shows how shadow banned I've become. What for? Speaking out against the establishment, fighting against the darkness. And this is something to be proud of. So I'm going to get straight down to it. You all probably have felt this new frequency, energy, darkness, and it's getting progressively worse and worse. Practically every single day I receive between 2 and 5 messages of people saying that they've been viciously attacked because they've spoke their truth against what I call now cult think. So the group think has now turned to cult think. And a typical example is last week when the Dalai Lama stuck his tongue out to a little child and asked the child to suck his tongue. Anybody who dares question that is going to be ridiculed, ostracized, stoned. Of course, stoned. If we were in biblical times, you would be stoned by now. And it wouldn't surprise me at all if there's some of these cult think fanatics that will indeed come after you. Bigger question: why is it they always attack just a singular person who's just making a statement? Why don't they go after pedophiles? Why don't they go after the government? Why don't they go after real rapists and all these? Why do they go after just a singular person who's just putting their point across? I'll tell you why. Because cult think is the same as group think. It's a bunch of bullies who join together and they become a cult. So let's talk about cult mentality, shall we? It's been something that I've been fighting against from day one. If you want to know what a cult mentality is, just join a group of Labour, Conservative, Democrats, Republicans, and just have a different view and type it in and see what happens to you. If you are a spiritual walker of this life and trying to progress in the spiritual world, just go onto a spiritual group. And if you disagree with those cult think mentality, see what happens to you there. You go onto any kind of religion-based group and you have an opposing opinion and see what happens to you. Now, that's just a few examples. I can give you a lot more. One, which is the cult think of the famous, the celebrities. I'm going to give you a great example now. There was a post that came up of Ricky Gervais. And Ricky Gervais is an avid animal lover, in the sense that anybody who hurts an animal, he attacks. And when the injection came out, he was one of the ones who told everybody to have an injection. And I went into his cult think group and said, just so you know, the injection was tested on animals, which were ferrets, and they all died. Well, I had never had such a cult think attack in my life. Words of, we're going to rip another in your bum. And the language and the attack was horrendous. Same too with the so-called cult leaders. So in every kind of walk in life now, everybody's protecting their cult. And to be truthful, nearly everything is a cult when it adds up to a group of people who think the same. It's a cult mentality. So question number one, what is a cult? And that's a good question. My interpretation of a cult is either a group or a singular person who does not allow anybody else to think out of their program. So what that means is, let's say Adolf Hitler was a cult. Anybody who dared question him would be ostracized and killed. The same is true of spiritual so-called gurus. The same with influencers now. So everybody's protecting everybody's cult. And this is why I've spent my 20 years telling people, don't follow anybody, because I can see where it goes. And when people come to me and start saying, I want to help you and I want to do this, not interested. Why not? What's wrong with you? That's what's wrong with me. Just the way you're behaving now. Cult think. I want to be in your gang. There is no gang. I want to follow you. There is no following. Stop it. And then they get aggressive and then they go off and then they go and find a group. So they go and find a cult. It's the most dangerous path anybody in this world can take. And it is very much connected to the darkness. So the darkness hangs around cult think. The darkness is involved with cult think. So all that I've described to you, darkness is weaving itself, whether it's dark energy, whether it's those that like to call them entities or demonic, but that is what happens. These people are an open source for darkness to penetrate. And these people tend to have an aggressive nature. They tend to attack, ridicule, like I said, mock, belittle, and fight to save their program, their cult. So all things said, you probably figured out now why I've never had 150 or 500 people follow me everywhere I go and help me in my farm. I could easily put a message out and say, hey guys, you want to come to my farm and help me tidy it up? And you'd come lovingly and you want to do it lovingly, but it's dangerous. It's very dangerous. The only time I ask for help is when somebody needs a bit of help other than me. So I'll say, Richie Allen needs some help. You know, funds aren't going so well. I don't want him to go. Please, God, let's all help him. That's as far as my help goes when I ask you guys. It goes beyond that, but in a different way. When I do ask you to come together and give healing for certain people, or, you know, we come together to do healing for somebody, that is something that we do out of love and we don't want anything in return. Cult think everything they do, they want something in return. It's almost a business-like transaction. So they want to protect their investment. So it's altogether dangerous and demonic, in my humble opinion. That's why I don't like groups. That's why I struggle with the Pure Energy Healing Academy for many years to have a hub together for everybody to come and chat, because I know once you get a group think, there's going to be this darkness that enters into one or two or three, and then they start to split, and then they start to create negativity and start to say, this is all wrong, let's do it right. And then they break away and they start their own cult. So this is why I don't like it. Is anybody understanding what I'm saying here? Or am I going off on one and it sounds like this is too much to understand? There's a reason why I'm talking about this, because you guys, if you haven't been attacked yet, trust me, in the next coming 2 or 3 years, this is what's going to happen. You're either in a cult or you're not. And the whole point about me making this today is that you have to be stronger than the cult, which means you have to be stronger than darkness, because the cult has been infiltrated by darkness, no matter what cult it is. So that's my truth. And the reason why I'm making this video today is because last night I had a lady who wanted to kill herself because of the attack she got from a spiritual community who ostracized her, mocked her, and belittled her because she asked a question. She dare ask a question. So what is a cult? A cult is that what you dare not ask a question. You only follow and obey. So if you look and see the world as it is, everybody's pointing fingers at governments and at religions, and yet without them even seeing themselves, they have become a cult within themselves. So we've got nothing but cults everywhere now. And there's a reason why we are black sheep. There's a reason why you know what a black sheep is. There's a reason why you're on your own. There's a reason why you spend a lot of time thinking about things without thinking about things in groups. You're thinking about things on your own. Why? Because you don't need cult think. You don't need group think. So this is where I am and where I stand. I find myself becoming more and more introvert in a way that is a positive. My light is more of a light than being in a group. My strength as a healer is more powerful in a singular. My healing to people is more powerful than a singular. Now, you're going to argue with that, and quite rightly so. But I've always said this, and I've said it out of experience. You can only create love in a circle of healers who are giving absent healers to the point where the weakest becomes the only strongest energy. So if you've got 8 people sat down in a circle and 7 are feeling powerful and strong with no illness, no sickness, no sadness, no emotion, trapped emotion, or any kind of weakness. If you have one person who's showing signs of weakness, then you can only send healing to the energy of the weakest person. So it's a bit like you're only as strong as your weakest link. And there's truth in that. And that's the same with giving healing. That's why I don't believe in world meditation, because so many people who are in that moment of healing, you have no control over it. You don't know if you've got satanic cults that are in that energy, trying to feed from that energy. You don't know if somebody is going through deep depression that they want to kill themselves. So you don't actually have the frequency of what you want, because a lot of people come onto these global healings to send out to the world to receive healing for themselves, not to do what they're meant to do. So what I used to do is, in a group, I used to say, who needs healing today? I do. Sit in the middle. Who's got the energy that doesn't need healing today and wants to give energy? I do. Okay, you sit around those that need healing. Doesn't that make sense? And that's when I could see through my own eyes and through the energy within that healing circle that the right people were receiving the healing and the right people were giving the healing. Does that make any sense to you guys? So you've got to understand energy to be able to do the right thing. And in truth, there's only one person you truly know, and it's yourself. And this is why I've always held back when people have said, let's open a huge place and let's give healing to people all day long. Well, it sounds great. And yes, I'd love to do it. but you're only as strong as the weakest person. Only takes one person to claim to be a healer and to come in and disrupt everything. It only takes one person to come in and destroy everything that you're trying to build and create. So, yes, if there was 100 of me, I'd do it, but there isn't. So now I have got to trust in everybody who comes in. And are they coming in for the right reasons? Do they want to be in this group think, this cult think? Or do you actually want to be a healer? No, I just want to say, oh, I'm a member of this. And so what? Well, that's my badge of honor. That's who I am. No, it isn't. And that's not why we're doing this. And, you know, it's really sad, because I think that there's more and more people going into group think, going into cult think than ever before, because they've lost who they are. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they are. And they need a badge. They need some kind of focus in the exterior than looking deep within. So that is my short but brief message today about cult think and my understanding of it, and my sadness and heartbreak that I'm seeing it more and more. And it's infiltrated, basically darkness has infiltrated all of these new cults that are being created daily. So it isn't big and it isn't clever. It isn't big and it isn't clever to start groups, I don't think. I think start within and start working on yourself and creating that what you're looking for from the exterior. Become the powerful you. Are you a follower, or are you a leader? Or even better, are you a shining bright light, like the lighthouse, who does not need people to follow, but just shines a light and gives the healing to the right people who sees it when they need it the most? That will be my message today. I guess that's it. Have a great day, everybody. From the bottom of my heart, shine your light. You're here to do that. And that light is your own. Okay. Take care. Bye for now. Love you all. Bye.